Hi everyone, this is Angelina. Thank you for joining us here again for our Smadaworld webinar. During this webinar, we'll be covering general information and updates on various areas that the Smadaworld team is involved with. We'll be able to answer most of your questions regarding the Boost Group registrations and upgrades, so please listen carefully. That'll save you from perhaps asking questions that have already been answered while Noel has been talking. And as usual, we'll be having the Q&A at the end of the update, so please hold your questions until that time. So without any further wait, I'd like to welcome back to the mic Mr. Noel Adams, our CEO and leader of the Smada team and founder of Next Level Africa. Welcome to the mic, Noel.
First of our many webinars that we'll be having after consolidating quite a bit of activity that's been going on. Someone told me we've had Christmas, you know. I've been that tied up with what I've been involved with. It's been a difficult time to even remember it's been Christmas. So if I haven't wished everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, I'll certainly do it now. I'll get into where I want to be with letting you know just where we're at. This is not a presentation as such, it's an information webinar. Some people have asked me why don't I record and have this all prepared before we start the webinars and take notes, but look, it changes that quickly, and sometimes I don't get information for 10 minutes before the webinar starts. It's very hard to prepare. So if I sound like I'm trying to think of the next words to say about something, it's because that's exactly what's happening. There's no notes on this. It's just coming straight from my head as to what is, where we're at, because I try to be on top of everything that we do out there. Firstly, and hopefully I cover the reasons that we're diversifying out there, and I mean, I just don't come up with a new program because I want to out there. It's because we need to make sure we are diversified. It's called multiple streams of income, and that's something that actually came together, and team building came together at the very early stages of Next Level Africa. Before that was Next Level X, it was Smada before that, and even when Next Level Africa was started, it was a Smada out there with people just really trying to jump in front of the queue all over the place. So it had to be put in a way that was fair for everybody. Now, first of all, I'll talk about Next Level Africa. Next Level Africa, it's a priority for me to get this happening. I've for months been asking the banks for coin balances and the line 8. I want line 8 to be registered out there and injected. And so we've had this massive delay from the bank, which I'm now fully involved with getting this completed. So Next Level Africa is a priority because we want the humanitarian projects up and running, and so once again, I've just come out of the clouds with what's been going on with other things we're doing, and they've just come back to work, and when they did, all the technical staff were pretty much tied up with the EU Invest and Dr. Wolfgang and what was going on there. So it was hard to get anyone to do anything, and I really didn't want to interfere with that, because as people start to realize all of this is connected. It's all part of the Smadaworld group out there, and it's really all connected, and the more that you really understand where we're at, the more you'll understand that it is totally connected. So as I said, NLA is now a priority to get that completed out there. So I really want to do that. And the other thing too is that through the exchange, we've been working on taking back our control of our NLA coin. All I can say is that we have traded in the exchange in the last probably 2 weeks ago that we started this process off. There's been about 30,000 NLA coins traded. I believe we're getting towards the end of the people that are dumping coins. I won't go into strategies of what's been going on, but I've been able to assist out there with the assistance of many members that have been involved with this to force the price of the coins down to get rid of them once and for all. So people have been buying NLA coins there for 95 cents a coin. Now, that's a good thing because we're getting rid of the coins from the people that want to dump them. I did indicate that I felt there was about 50,000 coins out there that we needed to get amongst. So we have taken care of about 30,000 of them. So we're on the certainly on the downhill run with that. And in saying that, we've had through the exchange, you can understand we're also running the pet coin through the exchange, and through setting up with the boost group, we've been able to control the price of the pet coin, keeping it down, and I'll go into that a little bit later on where we're going with the pet coin. But once again, congratulations to the members that have participated in the NLA coin, and certainly there's been quite a bit of trading. And look, it doesn't matter whether you've got $10 to invest out there in it, it all helps. And I should imagine by the time we get to the end of this month, you will see the last of the dumped coins out there. Will be heading closer to, certainly know where I want to be, but certainly away from this ridiculous price that people have decided that what our coin's worth out there. I think that we all became involved with the NLA coin and the bank. And look, part of this was my fault leaving the NLA coin for the members out there being able to pick it up. So we released about 2 million coins out there that people were able to pick up for $1. But, we'll arrest that and make sure that doesn't happen in the future so that we can get the correct value on our coin as it should be. The third thing that we're looking at now is we're in total testing of the email program. We've been testing out quite a few things with it, and I should imagine that we are within, I can say this, I believe we're in days of going into our first stage of releasing the email program. The email program is starting to to look extremely exciting there, and the program will certainly allow us to generate and use the NLA coin. So it's we've been testing it. I've had technical people testing it out now for the last week. We loaded up the final database of members going into it, and so that is almost ready to roll out. And I just want to make sure we roll it out when it's completed. I don't want it to have look, it's very hard to, it's like everything is in 3 stages. You've got launch, stability, and then momentum. So once we go into launch, I'm hoping that stability becomes fairly swift, and then we can get straight into momentum with it. So the email program is certainly out there with where we want to be. So more information will become available on that. The next stage on where I want to go is the e-commerce. We are now in final talks with the bank on the e-commerce program. they've been hard to talk to because they've been tied up with the You Invest project out there, and there's a lot going on that I don't know about, and there's a little bit that I do know about, and it's certainly an exciting program that will be talked about throughout the internet once the press releases come out on it. And so we are now in the stages of talking to the bank about the e-commerce. There was talk about it's a possibility for it to be ready in the next 3 or 4 days. So I'm only quoting what they've told me about it. So hopefully we're ready our end. And so they just need to sign off on it. In the kitty, when they first told me about this, look, I've lost track of time, it could be 8 months ago, whatever. They told me that we had $22 billion in there that we could, come up with a program and give it away. And I thought, wow. So now that figure stands at 57 billion we have in the account. So certainly I want to get that on the move, and the e-commerce program will be a noted program out there, attracting a lot of retailers, and we are going to be taking on the likes of eBay, Amazon, and we've certainly got a very, very slick program arranged with that, and the backing of the banking group that we've got. I mean, you just can't order this. It's something that's just happened over this period of delays that we've had out there. So they've certainly got behind us with what's going on. The next thing I want to talk about is the Smadaworld magazine. I managed to have a bit of a glimpse yesterday on the new video, and Lou, who knocked up the video along with Maxine, I want to congratulate both of them on it. Look, we probably need to refine it a little bit there. There's I've shared it with a couple of people, get a bit of feedback on it, and so we'll go into that at another time. But certainly the digital magazine we're talking about will be something special to the Smadaworld group out there, because we'll have a digital magazine where we'll have a lot of articles going in there, and articles from our crypto trading, articles about the email program, about the You Invest. So there'll be a lot of information coming in for people, all under the one banner, and it'll bring everything together and let people realize that we are a diversified group involved in a number of things, but the core thing on what we're doing is in the cryptocurrency world, and I think we can all agree that that's certainly grown over the last decade out there, and if anyone can show something a bit special, which I believe we have in our coin and the backing of the bank, then I think we can all appreciate that this will involve some rather special things that will come out of it. So the magazine, we are looking to launch that. I was in talks yesterday, looking to launch that within the next week or two. And so once we're happy with what we've got going there, we'll be building a matrix structure of it, and trying, because we want to be able to use the coin in there as well to build another source of income. And as I said before, it's multiple streams of income. Because I've been involved in networking for 35 years, I've watched companies come and go. I've watched them do things out there that we've had no control over, and so it was really 5 years ago that, after being asked for many years for me to become involved in owning an MLM company, it was 5 years ago that I decided that it was probably time to do it, and that was my first venture into owning a network marketing company when I bought Next Level Africa. and reformed it into a team structure rather than just everyone going willy-nilly at what was going on. Some of the other things that we've picked up along the way were there for a reason. But once again, we've got no control over what someone else does within a business. Everyone that becomes involved in business, they promise the world, and you tend to want to believe people out there, but we've had people that have certainly done the wrong thing by us and taken money from all of us, and I wanted to make sure that didn't happen. So things that we're involved with now, I'm making sure that we've got qualified associates with who we deal with, our alliance partners, and I don't think you can get any bigger than the HSBC Bank. It's certainly a godsend for what we want to do. So just getting into now the You Invest, and that launched on the 15th of December. Now, there were a few issues with it out there, just a few things that needed to be corrected. And look, the bank who owned this program, they don't want it to be seen as a full-blown MLM structure. So that's why we don't see a hierarchy. You only see who pays you. You don't know what's happening down underneath. And remember this, I'm just a member like everybody else. Maybe a little bit more influence out there because I'm dealing directly with the programming team, and obviously that I have connections with the bank on it. But once again, they do listen to what I talk about. Not that they will do anything that I ask, but they do listen. So I've been tasked with the building of the matrix and supporting that building of the matrix out there. So what actually happened was that as it got started, we were telling people to stick with a particular project. Now, because I'm at the top of every project, I could see people jumping around all over the place. I'm not knocking that, but it has no chance for a team build. So that became, what do we do about a team build? It just can't work. Cannot work with people jumping around all over the place. And so I had to work out how we were going to arrest all of this, and the answer came from us trying to help some people who are having problems with registering in coin exchange with KYC and getting themselves up and running in the You Invest program. And from that, as people started sending in their details, filling out the form we required, we realized that this is what we've been looking for to turn this into a team build. And it's as simple as this. If you want to be part of the team build, you need to be in Boost Group. If you don't want to be part of a team build, that's fine. You just stay in the general matrix. Everything is, we're dealing with one matrix. You've got the Smada 1 is at the top of the matrix. Boost Group is a team built under Smada 1. So it's underneath the matrix in the Smada 1 build. There's not two matrices going on here. There's just one. But in the Boost Group, we've got more of a control on where we're going. I asked members to stick with one so we could all become involved in doing the single build, and from that, back in the early times there, we looked at the type 2 diabetes, and from that people jumped around all over the place. So it really was a hard one, because once you do that, you can't do a team build there because everyone's already scattered. So doing a team build under Smada 1 would just simply run people from left to right. So we would have everybody involved in the team build that people we didn't even know. And what we want to be able to do is the terminology is used, flipping the matrix, so that the people who missed out this time can be involved in the next build at the top of the matrix, so that we share the wealth with everybody. I've worked out a system here where we can do this unlimited times, but it's got to be a controlled unlimited. It can't just be people going off all over the place. They need to follow instructions on what to do, and it'll work. And I know that we're not going to have 100% out there. There are people that that will decide to do their own things with it. And I do want to say this. I want to really thank the support network we've got from Angelina down to Karen and Julie, and look, some of the other members out there in the way of Maxine and a few others out there. Look, James Harris is another one that have really, stepped up to the plate and assisted out there with getting members boarded on there. So I really want to thank that team for what they've been doing. We've had to change things out there because we've had people who we allow them to do their sign up, and they'll change details in there, which we want the Boost Group to be a corporate structure with global representation, rather than just, some of the Mickey Mouse names we've all used, including myself, out there that mean nothing to anybody but us. But with the Boost Group having places like the United States and European countries and Asian countries and Australia out there, it just looks a little bit more professional than what we're doing. And certainly the banks do love it. One of the things that was happening out there that was, and this is the reason, it was picked up because of the Boost Group. I got onto this early, and they were telling me I was imagining it, but nevertheless I persisted with it to get it completed, because it took me 4 days of a couple of hours per day of dealing with the development team. And at the finish, I had to end the conversation because it was getting quite heated, and so telling them we'll come back and start again tomorrow. And I'd go away and start to think, how can I deliver this to them that they can understand? I know it might sound crazy, but nevertheless, how can I look, just because someone builds a program and builds a matrix structure doesn't mean to say they understand how it works. And so that's, it's like the man that builds the ladders. He's not the man that uses the ladders. So once it goes out there in the workplace, then he finds out all the things that are wrong or right with it, and can go from there. So it's just feedback coming in from use on that. So I'm not building it, I'm using it. And so I pull it apart, so that I can understand how the thing is going to work. So trying to explain that was fairly difficult. But what I did find out, there was an issue, there was a number of issues. First of all, it started off, it was dropping the referrer. There was something wrong with the code, and I was told at that point it didn't matter because everybody was under Smada 1 and it didn't matter. And at that point then we'd started up Boost Group, and I said, well, they're not, they've got to be in Boost Group. I don't want them under Smada 1 outside the Boost Group matrix. It's got to be in the Boost Group matrix, which is part of Smada 1. So understand that it's not a separate matrix, it's part of Smada 1. And they're trying to tell me it didn't matter. Well, so finally I told them there was an issue. And what's happening is that you're talking to somebody, and we were going through it just step by step, and I could sense there was quiet on the other side. And then I heard, okay, we found something, I'll come back to you. Now that was it. They'd realised that what I've been telling them was happening out there, so they went about fixing it. And as I said, it was dropping referrer, and also they'd fixed that, but then for some reason people would go in and change their profile and it'd drop the referrer again. So there was an issue going on which they managed to fix. But one of the main issues was that, okay, remember this, the bank don't want this to be seen as a full-blown MLM structure. So what happened was that they would only allow 64 people in a build. Once again, everything is under Smada1. That's unlimited under Smada1. But if somebody decided to do their own build there would only be 64 people allowed in that build. And after it hit 64, then people would start just going into the next lines available in Smada1. So people in the Smada1 area would have started seeing Boost Group members paying them. That's how we got onto it as well. And so I thought, how is this working out? So that when they told me that was the maximum allowed, that's all the bank would allow, I went into battle on that, and I managed to work out a structure that I can now do quite a few more than 64. We don't have any issues now. The reason I'm not going into details to explain how this is done is because I'm protecting the group. I've got a couple of hats I wear in this. I wear the hat of being the master distributor from Smada1. I also wear the hat of being the person running the Boost Group, and that's a priority to me. And so there can be other groups that come along that want to start up a group. I don't want to be giving information out about how to set those groups up and give someone a free ride. So it's a little bit of holding it back, but there's structures going on there now that we didn't know about earlier on, and I've managed to get the development team on side with understanding exactly what I need to do, and they will work with me on this as well. So what's happened is that the bank have stepped up, because what you'll see in the Smada build, if anyone is looking at who's paid them, they may see a name called blah blah 26, blah blah 130. That blah blah is what used to be a Boost Group member. Now those positions are available if anybody wants to buy them. I've been told by the bank now own them, but they will lend them out there if people wanted to buy them. There are 8 coins to get them. They're in the matrix out there. So once again, that's why they've just called them that particular name, because the names can be changed, and so therefore they've left them out there. Now what happened was they left that as it was. So all of those payments, upgrades, commissions were paid to members in the Smada1 link. When they brought them back in, they read it. So some people will see where they've only just paid for their upgrades in the last 2 days, because what the bank did, they supplied all the coins for those upgrades. People were then placed now in the Boost Group team, and the bank paid the coins, some 1,500 coins. Now, I thought it was rather good of the bank doing that, because in all fairness to it, it was going to be me paying for it, because I couldn't have people, it certainly wasn't the members' fault, it wasn't my fault as well, but I felt that it had to be paid for, and I didn't have to ask the bank, they just volunteered to pay it. So I think that's just shows you the strength on what we have out there with having something like the bank behind us in this. So members are in place, but remember this, you may not be in the place that you should have originally been placed in. I can't do anything about that. You're placed, you're in the matrix, and so now it's running from left to right. There's no holes in our matrix, and so everyone who is in there is due to have a downline. What we're going to do is have a closer look at that group when we do phase 2 of the boost group build, which I want to mention this, that we're within less than 100 sign-ups that we need to complete that, because we are looking at getting up around the 500 members there before I do the next phase of the boost group build. And so everybody can actually do something about that by talking to people about it. You know, look, I have people contacting me, and they might think that asking me, I'm looking every day and I can't see anybody underneath me. Well, if somebody is wanting to see that, then go and knock on your neighbour's door. Go and talk to somebody, not asking me to tell me I'm not working hard enough out there. So we certainly do our bit with it. So and you know, it's there's only a few out there that do it, and I'm just having to tell them that your turn will come. Everyone's turn will come out there. Everyone can't have a downline from the day they sign up. But as the terminology flip this, look, probably members know, and this includes the bank, the development team out there, probably know 1% of what I've got in mind to do with this. It's something that's never been done before. I had to really get in and look, use my 30 odd years in networking and 50 years in business to really understand what I was doing. You know, one of the things out there in life that can happen, some of you might know that I was very much tied up in snooker. I played almost professional snooker for nearly 20 years. And people would say to me that I'm a lucky player. And I would answer to that and say, well, I seem to get more lucky the more I play, the more I practice, the luckier I become. And that applies to something like this as well, is that the luck that's come from what we've been doing with this has come from time into it, putting a lot of energy into what we're doing. And hopefully, because I've learned from making bad decisions out there, that I've made good decisions, and it's attracted a lot of interest coming in from the likes of the bank especially. So look, the boost group, all I can say is, if people want to be involved in a team build, boost group is the only place to be. You're not going to be involved in a team build if you're involved in just the Smada One link. Now, in saying that, that's not to say you won't have a downline. You certainly will, because that's left for the general public to sign in, and that's what they'll become, because you can't just sign into the boost group. We're going to be monitoring that, and I'll be sending out instructions on how we go about doing the next build on it. But basically that's where it is. So if you want to be involved in the team build is the boost group, and because if you're involved in just the general flow of the projects out there, you can flip around and purchase any certificate that you want. Do whatever you like with it, upgrade, whatever you want to do. But we're restricting that in the boost group so that we have members that share in this together, so that we can see who has. I mean, we're running this spreadsheet. We've got access to timestamped, And also I've received a list of the 180 members that were moved from the Smada 1 matrix and back into the, or not back in, but now become part of the Boost group. So we're well aware of that. So I don't want people to be coming in and having to say, oh, I've only just been upgraded and what can I do about it? And I'll tell you now, I can do nothing about it at this point. So once we start with the next phases in the Boost group build, people will start to realize then just how special this group will be, and how much support we'll have from the likes of the bank and Dr. Wolfgang and his group out there. They're well aware of the Boost group. It's probably something they talk about a little bit out there. So look, I hope this has covered really where we want to be with a lot of the programs. It's been a bit of a challenge, and people think that I'm just darting off all over the place but there's a reason on all of these programs coming together. And if anybody doesn't want to be part of it, then simply don't. You know, we're not forcing anyone to be part of what we're doing, but what we're doing is we're putting a bit of security in the income structure that comes in, and that's the most important thing for us, is to have security in that. And so we've been now waiting long enough for NLA to get going, and I, as I said, it's a priority to me to get that happening out there. So look, I'm going to turn this over now for any Q&A, if I can answer them out there. And there are a lot of things I can't answer about the bank because there are things out there that are happening. All I can say is I've personally, on what I've been shown, I've never seen anything like it. And what's going to happen is that there's going to be certainly a lot of talk about it through the internet out there with it. All right, I'll hand this back over to Angelina and we'll see if we can answer any Q&A that comes on. Thank you.
We do have some questions coming in. Sorry, I'm talking slow because I'm reading a little bit as they're coming in, and we do appreciate people saying how clear that was and how informative that update was. So I think the first question here that we can see, Noel, is from your dear friend Nigel regarding original positions from around December 15th. And he's asking about the Boost group. So I'll let you carry forward from where Nigel is asking his question.
Because, where are we? I've got Nigel's a drummer, so I've got to talk softly or talk slowly on this, and it speeds up as it goes. Being a drummer, it speeds up. The original sign up, when people sign up into the Smada 1 build, that's just a position in that matrix. It's got nothing to do with the Boost group. So people that signed up anytime after the 15th has got nothing to do with Boost group sign-ups. It's the Boost group is totally independent. So don't mix up. We can't just make a member from the because the referrers have been set in there, so we can't just transfer them over into Boost group. We don't want to do that. It's all done by spreadsheet, not just by transferring them over. So once again, anyone that's in the Smada, they've got no worries. As people start to sign up, all the press releases are about to happen. So there's going to be quite a bit of activity going on there with it. So you get a lot of sign-ups and people come in. But what we don't know is whether people might sign up, but who knows what project that they're going to be part of. So you just need to be careful, because to go into every project, I think I worked it out there, you'd probably want about 200 coins to do that. So that would be a cost of heading towards about $400 or $500 to just to take a level 1 certificate in each project. So just be careful with that one. Okay, I'm just reading any questions here. There's a few people congratulating, that's right. Jen's asking, what about flipping the matrix? What about the people in the middle of the matrix? Good question. But what I said was I can do this unlimited times. Understand, unlimited is not flipping it once, it's unlimited. You want to talk in millions, yeah, talk in billions if you want. We can do this unlimited times. So don't worry about being caught in the middle. No one will be in the middle on every time we do it. Felicia, I purchased 100 accounts in July, and to see those accounts uploaded to the system and see them in my wallet, but I have never seen them. If we're talking about NLA there, I guess, with it, Felicia, well, those accounts, we're looking to get line 8 and 9 in there, which is where those accounts will be going. So until we get those lines in, and once again, as I said, I'm working on that now to get the information from the bank. I need coin balances, and if they don't supply me with that, I'll just move on without it. So, so that's where it is. Anita's, what about the diabetic certificate we started with? That's still all right. There's nothing wrong with anything that we've started with it out there. I personally have probably, where are we? I've probably got 50 accounts that I've taken out all over the matrix in Smada Team Build anyway. They're not in Boost Group. So I'm the same as everybody else out there. I've got accounts out there, and they will grow. They'll certainly grow with what's going on. It's just that once again we can't do a team build there. That's any difference with it. You can't do a team build in the Smada link. Jan's asking about the investors. Jan, look, I'm sorry I didn't cover that before. Sadly, I'm just tired of hearing about the investors. The bank have told me that they're still there, but I don't want to talk about them because it comes back to me about giving the information about we're the investors. We're the ones purchasing the coin. And if we purchase the coin and get the price value up on the coin, then consequently other investors will come in. So once again, I don't want to deal with this story about the investors that have been going on now for nearly 3 years about these investors coming in. We've had our development team make special trips overseas and collecting checks from them, depositing checks out there. So, but the problem is that they were scared off by these ridiculous prices in the exchange. And so we need to get on top of that. That's why taking control of the coins in the exchange is a very important thing for us. And once again, the investors starts off from us. We are the investors. Ian, have we registered in the e-commerce program yet? No. We haven't launched that yet. We're getting the clearance from the bank, hopefully in the next couple of days, and we'll be launching that, and we'll let people know how they can go about doing that. Tom, how soon do you think we will see Boost Group members getting to FOP level 6? Just a minute, Tom. I'm just going to go and grab my crystal ball and look in there to see how many people are going to sign up in the next whatever. It's a hard one to answer that, Tom. As people come in, go into the matrix, then obviously people upgrade from there. So, and the other unknown factor is we don't know how long the FOP program is going to be there. Once they stop it and there's no more certificates available out there, then consequently we stop. So whatever level we're at, that's where it will stop. So anyway, but that's where we are with it. So hopefully we get that on the move. Some of these questions are just flipping around a bit. I'm not sure why Angelina keeps coming in and out all the time. So something's happening with the program here. Okay, so Magdi, what happened? Sorry, look, this is flipping around all over the place for me. What happened to people joined on December 24 before the boost group? I noticed that there is no activity. Once again there, Magdi, that's the general sign up. That's where everyone signs up. They go into that. So they're going to be doing the press releases, and I should imagine there'll be a lot of activity coming in from the doctors group on what they do. So you'll have activity going on there. And look, there's 10 projects, so I don't know where people are going to sign up and what they're going to do with it. We have no control on that. So, but nevertheless, people in that general Smada One build will receive sign-ups, and you can sign people up yourself there if you want. So there's if you want to do that, you can use your own link if you feel, but once again, using your own link, you put people in a position they've got to do the same and continue to build it. James, if we have a spare 8 pet, can we take extra positions in the boost group? No. The boost group is done because it's fully managed. Every account is fully managed. If we have anyone doing that, they'll be discarded from any future bills we do because they're cheating the whole population of members by doing that. So we'll be keeping a very tight eye on people taking extra positions in boost group without coming through the correct channels to do it. Phil said, you mentioned before the certificate may mature. Is that still happening? All of these certificates in the You Invest program, the medical program, are all on what they call final stages with that. So they're all what they call final stages human testing. So once they're happy with that and they've raised the correct money on it, they will be stopped. So that's all. So it's all ready to go. Trentwood Cobb, I've received and paid the fee for the boost group. First, the 20. I've not a response to date. Need your assistance. Look, if you can send that into support out there, Trentwood Cobb, send it into support that you haven't, but I'm pretty sure that it would be something that they're pretty much caught up with now. So I'm pretty sure that you would have maybe checked some of your spam folders, but you'll need to contact support on that. They'll chase it up for you. I can see Angelina's response to you on that you've been sent an email, so check your spam folder and other things out there. Jenny, not the investors. This was from the money Noel and I getting after they signed off. Okay. I'm sorry about that. The questions just keep jumping all over the place. I can't hone into any. I think Jenny's asking about the money that's coming from the e-commerce. Well, once we get that, it's got nothing to do with the investors. It's just we pay people out. We pay people in NLA coin, and then we purchase the NLA coin from the exchange. So I'm not sure why Angelina's here with 4 now 5. This program's going to be silly at the moment. Okay, so just checking. Margaret, having a no referral in the Smada one, is it going to get changed? In Smada one, you don't have to worry because everything is Smada one. So no referral in that's quite all right. It's only in the boost group that we making sure people have the coin. The whole concept of the e-commerce is to pay members in NLA coin, and then we draw the money from the account and purchase the coins from the exchange. So you will see, once we get this going out there, you will see that all the coins taken up, and it'll be very close to the market maker's value on the coin. So anyone that's really in the market at the moment for NLA coin should do it, because the return is going to be astronomical. Some of those people selling off thousands of coins there at $1 a coin. I haven't got a calculator in front of me now, but the coins are going to be selling in the exchange for close to $700 a coin. So I feel happy for the members that buy the coins, and then I feel sad for the people that have decided to give them away. So, but anyway, someone's trash is someone else's treasure. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here with, there seems to be, Angelina seems to be in 7 different places now, what I'm looking at. I think I'm going to have to go out of this conversation and let Angelina come back in, because it's just showing her about 7 times in there, and I can't read any of the. Okay, they're sort of disappearing now, but yeah, I just can't get to the having no referral for Margaret. That's not a problem in the Smada one group. John, is it possible to transfer an account for example, my daughter? Yes, accounts can be transferred, from one person to another. And if it's an underage person, as long as they've got somebody, a guardian looking after the account, so that's all right. Once again, Tom's asking about the humanitarian money grant. That's still there, but we just need to get NLA going, and all that will come into play from that. Margaret, my pet coins have not been allotted from my coin exchange account to my Smada One account yet. When can I expect? look, if you haven't got them by now, you need to put a certificate, a support ticket in to support at uinvest.net. If you do that, I'll follow it up from there. But in a lot of times that people have just filled out the information incorrectly, because it's filled out correctly, they turn up there almost immediately. Okay, it tells me that we're getting at the top of the hour. I've been asked about UPB. Okay, look, I really don't know where they're going with that. That obviously they launched it, I think last October. I've asked them to put out a statement out there. They're adjusting things and doing things in there that I don't know if they really have it really heading in the right direction with their support on what they're doing, because they put nothing out. And but, you know, I have spoken to David Emby. He tells me they're working on putting other things in there. So until they put something out there, I really don't know where they're going. We had discussions with them about it. So until they put something out, I really just don't know. Okay, look, if you've got it into support there, Margaret, then I'll double check and I'll chase them along on that as well. But what I would do, here's one for you, and if anyone else is in the same boat, what I would do is that you sent them from the exchange. I would go into your account in uInvest and I would generate another ticket to have the coins deposited in, and simply make sure that you put the correct transaction ID and make sure you send exactly the amount of coins that you are sending. In other words, if you do it from the exchange, make sure it's 50, if you're sending 50 coins, 50.1, and that'll be 50 coins that arrive, because it's 10% of a coin that's a fees charged. So if you whatever you're sending, it's 0.1 as well with it, which will show you there what's been sent, and copy the transaction ID. So just do that again, because somewhere along the line that's probably where it's gone wrong. You've got incorrect information there somewhere. So on the account you want it to go to, put another request for coins in there and make sure you've got the correct details from your transaction in the exchange, and it should happen. I'll chase it up from there. If you let me know, and through support, let us know that you've done that and we'll follow it through. But that's, I'm saying that should be 99% of the reason that hasn't turned up. It's information is not correct on there, and they have to match it up 100% correct. All right, so if you've said you've sent 50 coins, it can't be, 10% of a coin under or over that. It's got to be exactly that. Okay, I'm going to turn this back over to Angelina. Thanks everybody for turning up, and hopefully that this is sorted out a few things with members that have been in a position where they're wondering what's going on, and hopefully that we are now on top of that. We've got a lot of programs that are getting themselves ready to be out there, and but once again, uInvest is going to be a very exciting program for us out there, because it does involve absolutely billions and billions of dollars, and we've got the cream of the medical scientific world involved with this. So we'll have, and we are the first group out there in this. Remember that, the Smadaworld team and the Boost group, we are the first of many that will become part of this. So we've got a really good start. All right then, thank you very much. I'll turn it over to Angelina and look forward to seeing you on the next webinar. Bye for now.
comments. Enjoy the day wherever you are today. Thank you. Bye for now.